What is good, Creative Fam? What's good, Creative Fam? Are y'all having a good Tuesday? I almost said Friday. Jeez. I literally almost just said Friday. But hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome back to another Tuesday stream. Today's going to be a fun one. I've got some products. Some are very new. Some I've actually had for a very long time. And so I'm really excited to be talking about some of these products with you guys, sharing my thoughts and opinions on these. Also, I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. But also, this is now, man, I gotta think back. Maybe I'm 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, 5 weeks of straight Tuesday live streams. And you guys will probably notice that today we are a little bit later than we normally are. My oldest son was actually running in a track meet, so I just went and watched him compete in his track meet. He did great, super proud of him. But now I am coming in for a slightly later live stream, but that's because I just didn't want to lose my run. I didn't want to lose my Tuesday goal. You know, like when it's like you go to the gym and every single day, like you're like, I got to keep going. Because if I stop, there's a chance that I might not go the next time. Once you allow yourself to make that excuse, it's pretty much game over from that point. I don't know if you guys can relate or not. The other thing that I'm really excited about tonight is I'm actually testing something new. Y'all know, I love to test something new with every single live stream. Today's live stream, I am actually testing the ultra low latency. So what that should mean is that you guys are basically no latency with me. So to help me out with this, do me a favor. In the chat right now, throw in some fire emojis. Throw fire emojis into the chat and let me know. I just want to kind of see how quickly that is actually playing in real time. I know I didn't really prep you guys for that, so there might be a little bit of latency of like grabbing your phone and throwing something in the chat. But I'm super excited about today's chat. I'm super excited. Oh yeah, look, they're coming through. They're coming through quickly. Dang, man, that latency is like, it's next to nothing. Y'all have no idea. Like, whenever me and Jarrell go live on Fridays and we don't set the latency to be like super low, it always feels like we're having a conversation on delay. Like, because we love having such an engaged conversation, you know, we love talking with you guys. Well, when we ask you a question and then it takes a long time for the answers to come in, and then the answers show up later and we maybe have already moved on, it always just kind of feels like we're off. And so I'm really excited to be on tonight. The other thing I'm really excited about is I'm gonna be having some music playing in the background. So let me know if y'all can actually hear that, because if that's working, then that's gonna set up something totally different that we're gonna be able to do. So I'm really, really pumped. Yeah, it looks like it's like 3 to 3.5 seconds on the delay. Super pumped about it. But let's go ahead and hop in the chat too. We got Tristan in the chat, Early Gang, and Loomis Gang. That's okay. Loomis Gang. Hope everyone's having a great day. Dude, we're super excited to have you here. Dude, I do not know how to pronounce that. Elysium Core? Is that what that is? I think that's what that is. That's a guess. Alissa back in from Jamaica. Super excited to have you, man. That's the one thing I love about just creating content for the internet. It's like you just get a chance to interact with people from all around the world. Mark is also in here he was the fourth, but he's also one of our amazing members. So shout out to one of our amazing members in the chat. Harold is up in here. Yes, Harold, we are live tonight. You know, hitting it with some of those late night streams every now and again. Well, right now it's been every Tuesday and I'm loving them. Gary's in the chat. What is up, Gary? Yes, another live. I'm pretty much committing to Tuesdays being like a bonus live stream day. Some days it'll have Jarrell on here. Some days it won't. Some days we'll be talking about new gear. It's kind of a weird thing because like I almost didn't go live tonight, Gary, because I was thinking maybe I should go live tomorrow, because tomorrow is when we're supposed to get like all the camera drops. All the news officially breaks tomorrow. So I was thinking about going live tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I still will. We'll see. Manila Martin. Yes, we are live. Dude, I'm super excited. Wait, I saw something about waiting for that Daredevil to drop. Bro, I don't know if y'all have been keeping up, But new Daredevil series. I'm only 2 episodes in, but dude, it's so good. I was a little nervous that going to Disney Plus they were gonna kind of butcher it because it was one of my favorite Netflix shows, but it's pretty good so far. I'm only 2 episodes in. I gotta get caught up. Matthews says, looking forward to see this camera and lens in person. Haven't had a chance. Hard to come by in these here in Brazil. Oh wow, Brazil in the building representing. Sorry, I started reading here and then I switched over to try to read it on the teleprompter, and then like my brain did the dyslexic thing. It happens. So yeah, super excited about that. Cam Mackey shill gang. Look, I am going to look like a Cam Mackey shill here in just a few minutes when y'all see this camera and lens package that I'm running. So yeah, it's gonna be a little Cam Mackey here in a minute. Kirk says, everybody hit that like button. Yo, last week we got up to 69 likes, and then on Friday we did it again. So if we can get enough people in here tonight, everybody hits that like button. It'll be so much fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Yes, the new Daredevil is amazing. Yeah, if y'all haven't been watching it, do yourself a favor, go get it. Mark says, my boy got an S1R2. No. So you're right. I need to clarify. Cam, I know it's hard with Cam Mackey because he shills so much. You know, you don't know what he's shilling. I am 2 generations behind in the Cam Mackey shill era. I am currently checking out the Blackmagic Pyxis. So I'm on that version. I haven't updated to the latest operating system of the Cam Mackey shill protocol, which means I don't have the Lumix in my hand yet. But, you know, we all can't be Cam Mackey. I can't keep up. But yo, I'm super excited about tonight's stream. All right, so as I mentioned to you guys, I did get my hands on the Pyxis, and I am super, super excited about it. It has definitely been it's almost like stepping back a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, so for y'all who don't know my journey, before I shot on Red, actually, like Jarrell loves to tell the whole world, I started on a Canon, and then I left Canon, jumped to Sony for a bit, but video was always my main deal. And so I then left from Sony to Blackmagic, and I picked up the Blackmagic 4K, and then later on the 6K came out, and then the 6K Pro, and then once I got to about 6K Pro time was when about the Komodo came out, and I was like, oh, let me just test it, because obviously it's, you know, before then the cheapest Komodo or the cheapest Red was $14,000 brain only, no accessories. So you were $20,000 in just to even get the worst version of the Red that existed at the time, which was the Raven. And I had rented it, I had shot with it, but it wasn't really great in low light, wasn't the best image. And so it was kind of like really I need to really step up to something bigger than that, which just took the budget crazy, right? Well, then the Komodo comes out, $6,000, and a good friend of mine, Joey Helms, he made a lot of content on the Komodo when it first came out, but he released a few videos, and I was like, wow, you can pull that image out of a $6,000 Red? Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and pick that up. And so, ultimately, I ended up picking up the Komodo and fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with the Komodo. Quickly became all in on Red at that point, and started working on a project. That project was like, hey, you know, we like the Komodo's look, but we really need something a little bit better. And so I started looking at possibly going up to a Monstro. And the Monstro at the time was selling for give or take $55,000 to $60,000. So mentally I was like, okay, I got to get myself a Monstro. I got to figure this out. Client is looking for this. This is something that we should look into picking up. And around that same time, Red drops the V Raptor for $25,000. I think it was $30,000 when I bought it because I got the white one. But basically I bought the I bought the Raptor, and then at that point I was all in on Red. I didn't even look back. I sold my Blackmagics. I did go back to using Canon only because of the RF mount that matched with my Reds, but long story short, it was all about picking up those Reds. I say all this to get back to the point of when I got my hands on this Pyxis, I genuinely had forgot how good Blackmagics really are. For those of you guys who were there, I know Gary was there, but Giovanni says, is this Ecamm still? Looks different. Yeah, this is still Ecamm. It's not full 4K though. We're currently streaming at low latency, so that did bring the quality down. It's very interesting though that you picked up on it. So I do wonder, like, beyond just the fact that, you know, it is Ecamm, let me know specifically, Giovanni, what looks different. I'm just really interested. But back to what I was saying. So I picked up the Pyxis now about 2 weeks ago, and for those of you guys who were there, I know Gary was there. We got a chance to use it on the onset live, and terrible plan, by the way. Don't ever buy a camera, bring it on set, literally turn it on for the first time, have zero experience with it, and then go live and try to shoot something in front of an audience. Terrible plan. Won't do it that way ever again. I will always at least get hands-on, because there were so many little mistakes and problems that we were running into. But the one thing that was super exciting was that every time we ran into a micro issue with the Pyxis, it was so easy to overcome. I mean, Blackmagic has the best menu system as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody whose menus are better. Reds are very close, but I probably would still say that Blackmagic might have a slightly better menu system. So yeah, so that's kind of been my experience with it. Cam says, heading to Utah on Thursday to shoot an indigenous mini doc, and wish I had the Raptor X, but we'll probably use the S1R2 and the Pyxis. You know, there are still some huge benefits to the Raptor X, and I'll definitely get into some of those here in just a moment. But man, I will say that, like, you know, you obviously are looking at cameras that are like vastly different in price. You know, even when you look at a Komodo versus a Pyxis, or let me say a Komodo X versus a Pyxis, you're looking at a very succinct price difference. But I have to say, like, after now using the Pyxis for a little over 2 weeks, what you're getting for the money is, I mean, I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. Like, I think everybody kind of already knows this about Blackmagic, but you just get way more for the money than you would ever expect with a Blackmagic. Like, and the Pyxis has a lot of really neat features. I actually have it rigged up right now with the Blazar Remus lenses, and that is because this is the first camera. I know Cam will love this. This is the first camera that I'm actually shooting on that has open gate. And so I'm sort of learning the new workflow that is open gate in multiple different fashions. And I will say, so far, I'm kind of a fan. I just edited a project that we shot on it, and we shot it on open gate just because I really wanted to see, like, okay, yes, you have open gate, but like, how, like, I hear a lot of people, and even Justin Porter roasted a lot of people talking about this. But a lot of people were, you know, sort of roasting open gate. Justin Porter is basically what I'm talking about, which was saying that if you were shooting on an open gate camera, that's just because you're not framing properly for horizontal and for vertical. But I have to say, as somebody who, you know, I shoot a lot of projects horizontally, and then the client never fails. Hey, is there any way we can get any of these shots for, you know, for a vertical edit? And like, obviously, you know, they're willing to pay for it, but it is kind of nice to have that. And so this last project, it didn't need to be shot that way. I just wanted to see what the capabilities were. I will say, it is my experience shooting in open gate is you do have to choose, what are you prioritizing? Are you prioritizing the horizontal, or are you prioritizing the vertical? And for me, I put guides on, and I just pretended as if the guides were what I was capturing, and everything else was extra. Like, it was bonus. I was just getting bonus pixels that I'd be able to use later on. So that's the way that I chose to interact within OpenGate, but I'm sure everybody has their own approach. I'm sure Cam has his own approach, but that's at least the way that I chose to take it. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into these comments real quick because I see a few questions coming through. So Cam says, Brandon, we need a Raptor X versus Pyxis versus Z8 comparison, all with Blazars. Well, of course you love them all with Blazars. And I'll be honest with you, the Blazars, that's another piece of gear that I've had now for, man, let's say October maybe? I think it's been since October that I've had the Blazars. And they are... like they have a beautiful look. Don't get me wrong. They have a fantastic look. But you will start to see some, what people will call character. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting like this purple chromatic aberration, which I understand is just part of that look. And we're definitely going to see it in the footage. But I feel like with the Blazars, you definitely got to want that look. And there's a lot of people on YouTube right now who really want that look. And so I think that is great. But I don't think it's a lens that you can actually use on every single project. I also don't think it actually gives every single camera its like what it's truly capable of. And so as much as I would love to put that those cameras to the test with those lenses, that just means I'm gonna also have to use another lens cam because I need something that is like, you know, controlled. But I definitely can speak on shooting the Raptor up against the Pyxis because I did that this weekend. I took the new Raptor X with the Z mount, which unfortunately has been shipped back at this point. I had to ship it off today because they need it for NAB. But I should be getting my hands on it again after NAB. So yeah, that should be good. But I took both the Pyxis and I took the Raptor X to a baseball game. And man, I have to say, the Pyxis does great, especially if you have ND and you can expose it properly and everything. You'll be very happy with the image that you get out of it. But man, the Raptor, I mean, I've only looked at just like the quick files off of it. Oh my gosh. Like every time I shoot with the Raptor, I'm like, oh yeah, this is different. I'm sure there's scientific, 16 bits and blah, 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 numbers and science and color and why I can see the difference. But man, when you shoot on that Raptor X, but we're also talking about something that is, close to 4 times the price, maybe more than 4 times the price. It might be 5 times the price. The other thing, and Cam, this is why I know you would absolutely love the Raptor X out in public, is, dude, the extended highlights. Oh my gosh, they are life save. They are shot saving. It is crazy what you can do with the extended highlights. The only problem I ran into with the extended highlights on some of my shots was a little bit of ghosting. And I'm working on like basically making a video sort of explaining what extended highlights is, because it's technically, I believe it's technically still in beta. And if they can figure out the processing to keep that ghosting to go away, I genuinely believe that extended highlights is the solution to NDs. Like, I did not need an ND filter on my Raptor X because I had extended highlights turned on. Mark says, my gas makes me want to get a red Komodo X, but I am more of a photographer. Yeah, I mean, look, even though the Raptor X, which I have a Raptor X, it's an RF version, but even though the Raptor X is the best camera I've ever shot with, and it is by far the best camera I've ever owned, I still say to this day that the Komodo X is my favorite camera, primarily because I love the onboard touchscreen as a backup. I love the form factor, and the image out of it is amazing. If you could take a full frame VistaVision sensor and throw that into a KX, that would be, at this point, my dream camera for sure. And you got to throw in extended highlights. If you could do those two things, I would be set. Alyssa says the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K is a good buy? ? Yeah, I mean, honestly, like even today, the Pocket 4K is still a phenomenal camera. In fact, I actually still have one. Like I have a 4K that lives in this drawer right here, and I pull it out every now and again when I just need that extra angle, because it's still a phenomenal camera. And you can probably get really good deals on them, especially if you buy them secondhand. The only thing is, it is micro four thirds, which I don't love, but I have a micro four thirds to EF adapter that just basically lives on there permanently, and it's a speed booster as well. So that gives me back a little bit of light, as well as it opens up my lenses. So that helps me out a lot. Justin Porter needs to get back to editing. I'm sure that's what he's doing right now, Cam. I'm 100% sure that's what he's doing right now. The live chat is embedded in the video instead of the typical add to broadcast. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the difference. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. No, that's something that we just do on, it's a different setup. It's something I can turn on or turn off at will. I've actually been thinking about how I actually get the live broadcast on Fridays to show up, and where to really put them, because it's crazy with the live show that we do on Friday. I have gotten so many comments from people who are, bummed or frustrated or whatever that they missed the show. And then YouTube is super weird about live chat post the show. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. If I edit anything on the video, it'll go away. Like, it's super weird. And so having the live chat up, I think kind of also gives people like that feel of like they were there and they can actually keep up with the chat as it was happening in real time when they're watching it on the replay. It's what all the Twitch streamers do, so I don't know. Alice says, you editing that footage in Premiere? No, so the footage that I've been looking at so far has been done in DaVinci. DaVinci and then in Final Cut. I don't have Premiere. I don't use Premiere. I mean, I know Premiere. Like, I know enough to get around, but it's definitely not my main editor of choice. That is 100% Jarrell. Jarrell is a Adobe supporter, financial supporter. I'm definitely not a Premiere user. I like to buy once for my software. Anything I don't have to have on subscription, I'm not gonna have on subscription. So I thought it might have been a different tool. Don't even notice the latency. All right, I'm super behind. My kid's in here. What's up, Andre? I'm sure he's not sticking around for long. Everybody, give Andre some love in the chat. He just finished out his track season and just competed at district. We're super proud of him. It's his first year doing track, so we're really, really, really excited about that. Cam says, yeah, they're far from perfect, which is why I love them. Would I use them on the silver screen? Depends on the story. No, 100%. Paige, how much does the super chat? Wait, how much does my super chat? Would I have to get 10 tips for videographers for dummies? Wait, did they super chat? No, I don't think that came as a super chat. I don't get the question. How much do I have to super chat? Would it be to get 10 tips for videographer for dummies? That's a great idea. I might run that. Maybe I'll just make a video. I don't have 10 tips right now, or else I would just totally do it right now. Gary says, I now notice another Dragon Ball Z reference. I think I see Goku. You're a fan? Yeah, you do see Goku. Let's see if I can get out of the way. Yeah, so Goku's over here. And then we have, why did his name just totally, Majin Buu. Kid Buu, that's what it was. Kid Buu is up there. And then actually on the floor over here is a Dragon Ball rug, Gary. And this is not planned at all, but I'm wearing a Broly shirt right now. So yeah, needless to say, I'm a little bit of a fan. Oh man, does he have money waving out of his back? Yeah, he's shooting money guns. You know, like those, he's shooting money guns. They're funny. Premiere says, I picked up a red Mastro VV and it's amazing. Yeah, I think you were actually talking to us a few live streams ago. You said you were gonna actually pick up one. That's really sick. Giovanni says, I like having the live chat up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Most Canon ICs use Premiere. A year ago, I was predicated that the cameras have peaked. A few years ago, I predicted that the cameras had peaked. Are we in the age of lenses and accessories? Ooh, good question. A year ago, I predicted that cameras had peaked. Are we in the age of lenses and accessories? You know, I think we're very close. I feel like cameras have gotten close to basically being peaked at this point. Like, I don't really know what else they could really do. And I honestly don't really want them to do too much more because, I feel like we're in this weird cycle where cameras got better and then computers had to get better. But then when the computers got better, then the cameras got even more. And so I'm just like, yo, let's just not even like, I'm cool with like, let's getting lenses down in cost. I actually just shot with these like amazing Zeiss primes. Me and Porter are working on a video right now where we actually shot with these amazing Zeiss primes, and like the cost of those they're not like the cheapest lens ever, but they are more affordable and they're really, really solid. So yeah, I would love to see lenses get better. I would like to see LiDAR continue to improve. I'm not the biggest fan of the DJI LiDAR system personally. It was a little bit convoluted for me. I know that everybody doesn't have that opinion or doesn't share that opinion, but for me, that's what I ran into. So like, I personally would love to see like version 2 of a LiDAR with a monitor. So then, and like, if there's a way to like, that way I can only like reference one screen. Cause the issue I kept running into with the LiDAR system, even though like I said, it was great when it worked, was just like, I was looking at my screen trying to compose my shot while I was also looking at the grip screen to make sure that it was keeping focus on what I wanted it to keep focus on. And I just want one screen to look at. So if there's a way to just like knock that out, that's the upgrade I'm looking for. So yeah, that's just sort of my thoughts on that. Markel says, I'm a shooter in Jamaica. Does the Pyxis of the Komodo X RAW files save shots with super harsh light? Sunlight in Jamaica requires a cam with 200 stops of dynamic range. Jeez. I would say when it comes to dynamic range, I'm still going to lean on the Komodo of the two. I think that's what you were asking. The Pyxis does a pretty good job at retaining highlight details though, which was like one of the things I was actually genuinely surprised by. The Pyxis is actually very good at highlight recovery. And in my opinion, of the two, when the highlights blow out, I actually like the bloom from the Pyxis more than I think I like the bloom from the Komodo, but the Komodo just holds it better. So if you need that detail, then the Komodo is going to hold the detail better. But when they start to bloom out, I think I like the way that the Pyxis handles it. But I also know like on the reds, you can go in and like change how that actually works. I don't know if I actually shot them. Like red has like different settings where you can change how it actually affects with the highlights and like how harsh the highlight roll off is, which is crazy that that's a setting in a camera. But just straight out of the box, that's just sort of my opinions on it. This stream is brought to you by Funimation. Bro, if I could get a Funimation freaking sponsorship just so I don't have to pay, or Crunchyroll, bro, please help me. Allison says, have you tried Motion VFX Design Studio? What are your opinions? I want to know if it's a good investment. I think you asked me this question before and I think I answered it, and the answer really hasn't changed. I have paid for it. I have not fully used it. Like I use it for tracking. I use it for masking. But that's about it. I don't think I really use it to its full potential. I think I signed up for the annual subscription and then I just got busy, which is like that's just my life. If I were to get better dynamic range tech, I think it'd be cool. Yes, I would definitely take that. All right. I think I'm finally getting caught up to chat because I was way behind there for a minute. Does the monitor for the 4D not connect to the LiDAR Pro? All right, so Larry, it does and it doesn't. So like, it will give you like kind of a readout on that monitor, on the DJI monitor, but it's not a direct, like you can see the same signal from the LiDAR onto that screen and your image at the same time. Like it just doesn't do that. And I asked about that, and I've asked multiple people about that, and I would be so happy to be wrong, because like at this point, I would love to pick up the DJI LiDAR monitor and be able to see my LiDAR screen as well as SDI into that, and that could be just my computer, like my camera's monitor. I would love to be able to do that, but currently that doesn't work, which really kind of sucks. What I would love to actually see happen is a way to send your camera's feed into the LiDAR's, like basically where it overlays at once. So you're only just looking at your screen, and then you can just see that it's also somehow showing you what's going to be in focus. Because when you look at the LiDAR screen, even they have wide and then they have tight, which is, I think it's like 2x or 5x or something like that on the little screen. And like when you're shooting like anamorphic or whatever, it's not like, it's really hard to really tell like what's actually going to focus on and what it's not going to focus on. Or if you're shooting on like a really telephoto lens, it's not working exactly the same. So that's what I was really hoping for. You also said, I'm looking to grab a Pyxis in the next 2 weeks, switching from Sony. Hey, he's not talking anymore. He's buying. Hey, Brandon, your face tracking has been implemented on Red's camera with, hey, Brandon, has face tracking been implemented on Red cameras with the Nikon mount? So yeah, it's actually on both cameras. So if you are shooting on a Red, Komodo X, Raptor X, and then the Z mount equivalents, you already have face tracking. It's on there. And we actually tested it last week. So after this stream, you can go watch last week's Tuesday stream. I put the RF and the Z mount side by side, and we looked at them in real time. And yep, it absolutely works. I can say now though, after shooting sports, the face tracking is not good enough for sports. I tried all the settings. I tried increasing the sensitivity. I increased the speed, but I can tell you with baseball players in particularly, like, cause that's what I shot, you know, they're wearing baseball hats, but their faces aren't obstructed. And even when they had helmets on, they had a helmet on, but like, again, their face wasn't obstructed. Now, I will say it was a very high dynamic range situation because it was very bright outside. But man, I was actually really kind of bummed by how poorly the face tracking worked in sports, because I know somebody specifically was asking about that last week. So at this point in time, I would not say you could use the face tracking in a sports situation. I haven't gotten good enough. I haven't gotten good enough footage myself to be able to trust it. So yeah, so that's just sort of my thoughts. Gary says, since you mentioned tomorrow's new drop, which one are you most hyped for? You know what, Gary? I keep going back and forth on the Canon Pro vlogging camera, the PowerShot. It's a 16-50 PowerShot, which I personally think could be a fantastic vlogging camera, or like content creator type camera. And it could probably also double as like a really solid, live streaming Zoom camera. And so I think it's going to have a lot of benefits for a lot of people. That's probably the thing I'm the most excited about. The more research I've done on the Sony, it's not for us. It's not for me. I'm not saying that it won't be great, but it's an attachment, I believe, for the Venice. At least that's what all the kind of like rumors and everything are pointing to. And so that's not going to be anything I'm going to be really all that interested in. And then the R50, assuming that's what the other camera is that Canon's coming out with, that's just going to probably be one of those Canon cameras I recommend to like moms that I meet at baseball fields that are like, oh, what camera should I get to shoot my kid? And I'll be like, yeah, get the R50. It'll be fine. So, but for me personally, I want to see that PowerShot. I think that one will be interesting. Illmatic says, I'm looking to grab a Pyxis in the next 2 weeks. Coming from Sony, was going to grab an FX6, but something about the colors from Blackmagic has me. Yeah, I mean, if you're okay with not having autofocus, I definitely think that the Blackmagic Image is probably my favorite over the FX6. But I will say, I have shot with the FX6 a few times. Every time I'm shooting with it, just the process of actually filming with the actual FX6, I enjoy that experience. The camera, the ergonomics, the built-in auto ND, like I enjoy shooting with the FX6 so much, but I just don't love the image that comes out of it. It's probably me, because I probably don't know. Like, I've seen other people get beautiful images out of the FX6. So I just haven't had it long enough. But I also can't see myself fully investing in Sony lenses. Well, at least not right now, but maybe in the future. Marcel says, leasing the KX. I know Jarrell is on team Nisi Athenas. What is your preference? Ooh. You know, I actually just shot with these, they are the Zeiss. Dang, what is the name of these lenses? Let me see if I can look them up. But I just shot with these new Zeiss primes. So gorgeous. I was reviewing some of that footage too. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a super cheap set. Zeiss was nice enough to send them out to us for a few days. But the Zeiss lenses right now. But the only problem is, actually, as I say this out loud, they were E-mount, and so they sent them to us so we could put them on the Nikon red mount camera. So actually, I mean, I'll probably have to say, Marcel, the Nisis are probably my go-to right now. When I've hired out Jarrell to come and do projects with me, we shoot them on the Nisis, either that or the Irix lenses. But Irix has some lenses that are missing from their set, and that bothers me every time. So Cam says, so what is the biggest difference in image quality between the Raptor X and Pyxis? Similar color fidelity, similar dynamic range. Does one look more cinematic? LOL. It's not similar dynamic range. The Raptor X just crushes the Pyxis when it comes to dynamic range, in my opinion, especially with the ability of extended highlights. I'll also say that when it comes to the color, I do believe that you still have more room to push in post with the reds. And the one thing that red does that I don't think anybody, like, this is sort of my thought process when it comes to dynamic range. Dynamic range doesn't just mean that there is technically data in the actual shadows or in the highlights, but there's actual data you can do with it. So for example, as a black man, I have most of my skin tone lives normally in the shadows. And so when you start working with cameras that don't have that say they're really good with low light or really good, preserving the shadows, it's not just a matter of can I see it, but it's a matter of can I still tweak it? Is there still color information in those shadows? And that's some of the areas where I've seen the Raptor absolutely excel. Also, as I mentioned, the Pyxis does have really good highlight recovery, but the Raptor X is a camera that I have not been able to basically overexpose. Like, as crazy as it sounds, I have literally shot, like this past weekend, I shot outdoors in broad sunlight, 2.8 aperture, turned on extended highlights, nothing was blown out. Like you turn on false color and you can see that it is blown out, and then you turn on extended highlights and then it's just not blown out, and you just get those extra 2 stops back. It's actually pretty crazy. All right, Chandler says, what's it like shooting anamorphic versus spherical? Does the focal length behave differently? Yeah, so it behaves. So let me actually grab a lens for you. Okay, so this is the way that it was basically explained to me when it comes to choosing to shoot anamorphic, right? So the way when you look at lenses, I'm sure you've seen those videos online where people change the focal length and it changes the look of the face, right? And so a lot of times, especially in cinema and in movies, they like to shoot with tighter focal lengths because it's more pleasing to the face. For example, if you take a ultra wide lens, like a 16 millimeter, and you try to you put that really close to somebody, it's going to distort the way their face looks. But you still want that wide look. So the reason why a lot of people like to shoot on anamorphic is because you can still shoot on 100, right? So this is like a 100 millimeter anamorphic lens. But what you're going to get is, because this is I think these are 1.5s. So what you're going to get is 1.5 additional information on the sides, but you still get the compression as if you were shooting on 100. And so the benefit of shooting anamorphic is the fact that you can get the right compression that you want on your subject, but still have that additional information to be able to create a good wide looking shot, which is why you don't see a ton of ultra wide anamorphic lenses, because they're already so wide because they have the additional information. That's what's being squeezed. But what you're also getting is the ability at that point to be able to get the compression that you actually want. And so that's the way that anamorphic was explained to me. And I think that that's like the best way to kind of think about it, is when I look at anamorphic lenses, or I'm thinking about anamorphic lenses, I'm thinking, okay, what compression ratio do I want to have on my subject? Do I want to shoot them with a 50 or a 45, which is what the Blazars offer? Do I want to shoot them with a 35? Like, what type of compression ratio am I actually trying to get on my subject? What do I want my subject to look like? And then you're looking at your, 1.3s, 1.5s, 2x, and that's going to tell you basically that's how much additional resolution you have on the sides. So that's the way that it was sort of explained to me. I hope that makes sense. Cam, you can let me know if I'm wrong or missed anything there, but I think that's pretty much how it was explained to me, and so that's how I sort of approach it. And then spherical is just, that's just your focal length. No additional stuff. Had to bring the Art just came in and was like, Lumix S9. I think you just want to start a fight up in here, is what you want to do. But we're gonna put that to the side for a minute. Do you know how good is the Blazar autofocus anamorphic lens compared to the DJI LiDAR? Okay, so I did do a few tests. They are not what I was hoping. So I have shot now with the Blazar anamorphic lens. Porter brought his out and got a chance to test it. We put it on a Nikon. Works good. Solid. And I know Cam has used it too. Put it on the red with the E2Z adapter. No go. Unusable. So I don't know what magic is going on, but the magic stopped when I tried to put it on a red. So that's it. Yeah, Carlos says, I don't like the FX6 monitor. Carlos, I don't know anybody who does. I feel like everybody runs an external monitor with that camera for sure. And then Ron says, I played around with the DJI LiDAR Pro a bit the other day, and it changed some things. Kind of loving it now. Well, maybe I need to give it another shot. Have I tried a Ronin 4D? No, but I absolutely want to. Let's see. Oh, by the way, y'all, do me a huge favor. If you're enjoying this, please hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Also, we should have had the Pyxis in the second ISO because you get extra stops in the highlights. Yeah, that's one of the other things I never really understood about Blackmagic Raw. I'm not really sure why it's done like this, but basically, for whatever reason, there's like two different like flavors of. It's not flavors. There's Blackmagic Raw, but then you got to be within one ISO range if you want to be able to change it within that range, and then but then if you drop to the other one, then you can play within the second range. Red doesn't do that. You just have the full ISO range. I don't know. I'm being picky, but don't love that. All right, so let's see. I believe the 100 would be the width and 1.5 would be the compression. So it's getting 150 compression. I don't think that's the way it works, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Dang, I was getting so close to the end of chat. Like I was getting all caught up, and then y'all, I mean, I don't mind answering the questions. I love them, but I just got so behind. So just trying to work through. Also, ANOs have poor close focus ability. Yeah, so that is one thing you do have to keep in mind when it comes to anamorphic lenses. They don't have really great close focusing, but you can get a diopter and sort of fix that. And a diopter, they're not the cheapest filters out there, but they're definitely not the most expensive filters you can get. And the nice thing about most diopters is they can be like clamped and just put in front of the lens. So you only have to buy one. You don't need to feel the need to buy one for every lens you got. Come to Columbus and you can use the 4D. Columbus, Ohio? Columbus, I mean, I've never been there. Is there anything cool to shoot in Columbus, Ohio? I know a lot of YouTubers come from, oh wait, Yeah, no, maybe that's Cleveland. I don't know. I'd be down to try out Columbus. I've never been there. Cam Mackey says there's a firmware coming supposedly to make it work better with the Megadap adapter. I haven't bothered using the combo until the firmware is out. The Surae has the same issue. Yeah, and I don't really even think that it's so much the Megadap adapter when it comes to the Blazar lens. I think it has a lot to do with, like, the red has so much going on. Like, I mean, for an anamorphic lens to autofocus, the light that's actually coming through the lens is bent. Like, there's no way around it. Like, it has to bend it in order to get it to that anamorphic. And so it has to be able to then also read that information and send that information to the sensor. And the reds already don't have the best autofocus. Like, it's not mirrorless level autofocus. So I think it just really struggled with that information and how it was actually being read to the sensor. Cam Mackey can help Brandon with the Ronin 4D. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you can give me one, Cam. I really do want to shoot on a 4D really bad. Your channel and Cam Mackey's are the best. Wishing you guys lots of success. Appreciate that, Rodrigo. And then Larry says, "Come to Ohio. I'll make sure to take care of the. I'll make sure to take the day off." Yo, if there's something really dope to shoot in Ohio, I absolutely want to do that. I'm working on something right now. I did this in the past, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, but I haven't done it in a while. I used to do what I call like YouTube tours, basically. And what I would do is I would just hit up all my YouTube homies, like Cam or Armando. I've went to Armando's a few times. I've never made it out to Canada, but I wanted to. But basically, I would just hit up a few different friends, and then I would just take like a week or a week and a half or whatever, and I would just travel, and I would just go and see everybody, and, you know, we would do collaborations. Like, I went to Chicago and shot a few collaborations out there. That's when actually I met Joey Helms in person for the first time, and so it was just really cool to kind of get the, you know, because a lot of creators, unless you go to NAB, which, by the way, chat, let me know. Are you planning on going to NAB? I just want to know. If you guys are planning on going to NAB, let me know in the chat. But outside of going to like NAB or something like that, you never get a chance to, you know, meet your, you know, you never get a chance to meet creators. Even if you like chat on Instagram or whatever, you don't actually get a chance to meet in person. So every now and again, I like to actually like travel a little bit and just go see everybody. And so I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of people at NAB, but then probably a few weeks after NAB, I'm going to probably try to like set up something so I can go travel around and collaborate with a few creators, because I believe that, you know, I love filmmaking, but it's better when it's actually collaborated. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Wayne, he says, I hope I said that right. What'd you say? If I'm not wrong, the compression is the same as a regular lens. You can just get closer to the subject and have the same field of view, which allows you to get shots of higher focal lengths while keeping a wide FOV. Yeah, that's pretty much how I believe it works. But yeah, let me know if you guys are going. Let me know if you guys are going to NAB. I would love to hang out with you guys. As some of y'all know, we're going to be doing an episode of Uncensored live from the floor. And so I'm really, really pumped about that. That's going to be so much fun. We're going to be live streaming it, and it's going to be on the Monday of NAB. So NAB, basically the way it works is Saturday, everybody typically flies in on Saturday, and then Sunday is the first day that the floor is open. So me and Jarrell are going to kind of walk the floor. We're thinking about possibly doing a live stream on Sunday, but it's going to be a very raw walk the floor kind of thing. We don't know how good the internet's going to be, so we don't know if it's even possible. And hell, it might just be, you know, us like on a phone trying to live stream, because I know there are parts of the floor where it just, it sucks. Like it doesn't work very well. So the plan is ultimately to try to do for sure one show. We at least have one show locked in that will happen. We'll be at the Amaran booth at 12:30 on Monday, Vegas time. which I think is 2:30 Central Standard Time. So it'll be definitely off schedule, but it'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Have you seen Red to Alexa conversion from Juan Maria Malaria? I really like it. No, I have not seen Red to Alexa conversion. I wonder, is that Rodrigo, is that like a color pipeline? I'd really be interested. Ron says, I might be going out to Vegas to work on a film. Not sure yet. Also have some other irons in the fire out there for projects. Dude, you should definitely come out to Vegas. And then K Mackey says, if an anamorphic lens says 50, then the compression and vertical height is the same as a regular 50 mil lens. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was saying. So basically, the way that the anamorphic works is that if it's whatever focal length it says on it, imagine you were using a spherical lens of the exact same nature. That is the compression. That is the height. But then where you get your additional width is going to vary depending on if it is a 1.3, 1.5, 2x, whatever. And so again, so my logic was correct. When I pick my anamorphic lenses or what lens I'm going to be using, I'm picking the compression ratio, the lens that I want to have, what I want to see from my subject. And then depending on what version, like in this case, I like the 1.55 or the 1.5. That just gives me a little bit of extra room, 1.5 times extra room on the sides. The 2x is really cool, but I just find that like with the two times, you're like, I'm always like punching in and reframing. Like I'm never gonna actually release anything that's 2 times. I won't. If I do, then I'll probably just rent it at that time. What's up, John? Good to see you here. Michael says, unfortunately, I can't go using all my PTO for a trip to Bulgaria and Paris. Ooh, I want to go to Paris. Don't say it, Cam. All right. I will be at NAB on Sunday, the 6th of April. Awesome. Well, hey, if you're there on Monday, we're going to be doing Uncensored Live from the floor, so that'll be a lot of fun. Gary says, I will be in LA near the end of October. Is something cool near that date? Ooh, October. Cam would have to let you know. October in LA. That's so cool. Gary, where are you from again? I can't remember. I know you're overseas somewhere, but that'd be really cool. Yeah, I had it backwards. Yeah. All good, Steve. Yes, color space transform from reds linear, from red to linear and linear to Alexa after some tweaks. Nods and and an Alexa LUT. Dang, that'd be sick. Okay, I'm gonna have to go look that up. For sure, gonna have to go look that up. You're still young. You can still go to Paris. Oh, no, I will go to Paris. I'm definitely going to get to Paris. Paris is weirdly dope. Been there for military trips. You know, and that's one of the things, like, I feel like, I mean, like right now, I've got 2 young kids. They're getting older. I say young because it makes me feel young. But I've got 2 kids. And, man, there are certain places that I definitely know, like, I want to go. But like traveling as a filmmaker, maybe you guys can relate to this. Traveling as a filmmaker with your family is actually really tough because you want to stop and photograph and shoot video of every beautiful thing you see. And your family's just like, yo, can we go now, please? Like, Dad, did you get it? Did you get the shot? All right, bet. Let's leave. So definitely going to take some trips. Paris would definitely be me and my wife situation, but she's the same way. She's just like, you know, did you get the shot that you need? Can we go now? I think it's time to go now. And I'm just like, I want to film, like, I need at least 6 shots to make this scene even make sense. I don't need just one little shot. So no, that's, traveling with non-creatives is one of the most challenging things to do. But, if you can go on a creative trip, man, that's That's where it's at. Actually, what's crazy, y'all? I had a company reach out to me at the end of last year. I didn't think we were ready to do anything like this, but there's this company out there that like works with creators, and basically they like handle all the scheduling and stuff, right? They handle all the scheduling and stuff, and then they basically tell you like, hey, here's a trip if you want to go on a trip to Paris, right? We have all the activities and stuff planned out. You tell your audience, and then like as long as like six to 8 people like sign up, it gets super inexpensive for like all the stuff. And like they obviously say you got to take care of your own flights because it's gonna vary depending on where you're flying from. But they had like, you know, flights. They had like, you know, hotels were taken care of, food was taken care of, like photos and like places for you to go and take photos. All that stuff was all taken care of by this one thing. So you could just like pay one price, and a bunch of creators could go together and go do these like crazy excursions. And I was like, man, that would be so sick to do. So if that's something y'all think y'all would ever be interested in, let me know. Because I mean, I told that company at the time, I really wasn't at a place to be able to like do all of that. Cause they reached out to me like in November, December. And I was just like, nah, I'm busy. It's holiday season. I ain't got time to do that. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. Gary says, was it Trova Trip? I think that was the company. I'm actually pretty sure I think that's exactly who the company was. Gary? That's crazy. Trova Trip. Yeah, this is the company. So yeah, they apparently handle everything, but they were like, they asked me if I wanted to host one. So maybe I'll do something like that. We'll do a creative trip, one where we all can actually take our time and film stuff and not feel like our spouses are being, you know, let down. Carlos says, I'd be down to do that. Yeah, that'd be sick. Marcel says, I smell a Japan trip in the making. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Imagine we did our own Japan trip. Oh, the jokes. The jokes. Gary says our company works with them too. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that would be lit. Yeah, I think it would be awesome to just do a trip. And like I said, it would only be like, you know, a handful of people probably would be able to actually go or whatever. But man, that'd be so much fun. And I think they even let you do like payment plans and like all that stuff. So you can definitely like, you can figure out how you want to make it happen. But yeah, I think that'd be so much fun. It'd be so much fun to just do like a trip with you guys. And I mean, like, it'll be like, you know, 6 months out. So you have like 6 months to like make payments on it. Cause I would have to do the same thing. But yeah, it could be a lot of fun. Certainly look into it, as I'm sure it would be epic. Yeah, the biggest thing is just if we had 6 people that would want to go, and where would we go? Because once we tell them where we want to go, that locks it in. And then basically we just got to find like 6 to 8 people. I think it's the minimum. I think the maximum is like 15. So it's not going to be it's not a big thing. It's like 15 people who like genuinely want to go. That's it. And then outside of that, if you're not, you know, if you ain't one of those people, then you're just not going to do it. So, but yeah, it was, there were a few different ones. The prices vary depending on how many days you were there. The more people you got, the cheaper it got. And obviously based on where you're going, the price changed. But yeah, that was I was definitely looking at that and I was like, man, that could be really fun. I would want to do it. I would just need to do it during a season that's not quite so busy. So like for me, it would probably be like easiest to do it during the summer. So, you know, the kids are out and, you know, it's easier to work with. But Kev Prime says, do you have a book or course on how to personal brand as a videographer and content creator? Any recommendations? I don't have any courses. Dude, I mean, I don't know. I've never really thought about that. No, not really. I mean, I've thought about teaching, like there are like, so inside the Creative Film Academy, there are like where I've like stood up and spoken and like talked to people about how I do it. But no, I've never really like taught it. That's actually probably should though. I have conversation with Terrell all the time because I'm always trying to help him build up his personal brand. And I mean, obviously talk to videographers and talk to him through his business and stuff like that. So we used to do business Mondays. It just became too much. And I just wasn't sure how I wanted to give out that information. So maybe I'll run that back soon. Rodrigo says, how do you delete unused red files after a shoot? I used to put all the footage on the timeline after editing, delete the unused ones one by one. Very time consuming. Rodrigo, that's my problem. I don't delete anything. Every project that I've ever done, even the ones shot on red that are like 4 terabytes for a single project, I still have them. I have a 122 terabyte NAS that's full. I have a 96 terabyte RAID that's also full, and then I've just got drives all over the place. So it is a problem. I am a problem. I am the problem. It sucks. Were you part of Potato Jet's creator trip a few years back? No, I was not a part of that. No. Japan, let's go. Harold's down. I mean, shoot. I'm not against it. What's your go-to family trip camera? Ooh. You know, I feel like every time I go on a family trip, I pick up a camera to take with me. So like, not too long ago, I picked up the Leica Q, and that became my travel camera for a while, and I loved it, but I wasn't like in love with it. And then I met somebody who was like desperate for one, and they were like, I'll buy it from you retail. And I was like, all right, bet. So I sold it to him. And now I think I'd probably run with like a Fuji X106. Would probably be the camera that I'd probably grab as my family trip camera. My biggest problem is I know once I grab, like, I don't know, y'all can relate to this, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go on a family trip. So I say, I'm gonna pack light. So I'm gonna take my mirrorless camera, which right now is the R3. But then I go, all right, well, what lens am I gonna take? Well, I'm gonna have to take 24-70 because that's standard, right? And then it's like, but what if I need to zoom? So I'll just throw the 7200 in there just in case. And then it's like, well, then I might need a tripod. Might as well bring a tripod. So then I got to bring the tripod, and then I bring the lights, and then I'm like, well, what if I need to take a drone? So then I pack the drone, and before I know it, I've got like a full Pelican case, and I'm trying to decide what not to take. So that's definitely always been my struggle. But when I do go on a family trip, I have to force myself to say we are not going on this trip to capture content. And when I do that, it sort of helps me to like pick a camera that has a fixed lens, so then I can't go down the rabbit hole of like, well, I need this lens, I need that lens, I need a tripod, and I need this, and then what if I want to do astrophotography? Like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Japan's cool, especially cherry blossoms, but it's busy. Yeah, I would imagine it would be pretty busy. Run a workshop. All right, y'all. I don't know if I should give away. Yeah. Okay, I'll just tell y'all. We are working on the next workshop officially. Friday. Oh man, I'm jumping the gun here, but I'm just super excited. Y'all know I did the red workshop last year, which was an absolute blast. It was huge. It was amazing. We're having our kickoff meeting this Friday after Uncensored show to talk through and figure out how we could do it. So we're going to have a pretty big, this year's workshop's going to be, I want it to be 4 times as big as last year. We're going from 1080 to 4K, y'all. But yeah, Larry, we're going to have a workshop here really soon. More information coming very soon. Yeah, he says it's a bucket list trip for me, simply for the photographic aspect. Yeah, dude, to go on a trip would be amazing. And absolutely amazing. Archive stuff online, Ron. Backblaze is cheap. Yeah, I'm probably there. Japan is awesome. Was there a few years back. Cam Mackey says, I'm down for Japan. Only if you pay me, though, obviously. Well, I get it. Yeah, I got a shill for Cam. I'll shill you out, Cam. Oh, my brain just went. Cam, after I get off this stream, I'm going to call you, so you better answer your phone. How long to fill up those NAS storage units? Bro, it depends on how much you got, but yo, it is, it took me like maybe 6 months, but I was shooting everything on the Raptor. I was doing a massive project for this one client. Killed it. Carlos says, I was looking for like a Q28. Yeah, that's what I had. I had a Leica 3. Loved it, but it just, I wasn't using it enough. And somebody else near me was like, man, I've been looking for this camera and it's sold out everywhere, or it's like it's been upcharged everywhere. And so I was like, yeah, I'll let you run it. Cam, love to see you running around with those Blazars. Dude, that would be funny. That would be absolutely funny. All right, Gary says it's almost 3 o'clock there. See you on Friday, Gary. We appreciate it. I'm actually gonna get ready to wrap it up here in just a bit. Gary is in the Netherlands. But no, I'm actually about to get ready to wrap up this stream here any second now, because I gotta get the kids ready for bed. I'm getting phone calls. It's time for me to get off. But yeah, so far, loving the Pyxis. I'll have an official review out here very soon. Nikon workshop, we'll see. I want to make it a little bit, I want a little something for everybody. That's what I'll say. The goal of this one, if the last one was to make sure that everybody knew what it was like to shoot on a Red, this one is actually to open it up more. You don't have to shoot Red. You don't have to know Red. You don't even have to show up and really care about Red. I want to make it accessible for as many people as we possibly can, including having certain workshops. So just be ready for that. But it's gonna be fun. All right. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me tonight. Thank y'all for helping me continue my streak of Tuesday live streams. Do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great time. We will see you guys on Friday for our live stream. I can't wait to hang out with you guys on Friday. It's going to be so much fun. And hopefully here really soon, I'll have more information about that workshop, because that is something I'm going to be, y'all are going to know. I'll just leave it at that. You'll definitely know. 40 likes tonight. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys. See you guys.